This is Unsolved After Dark. Tonight, you're about to hear 3 very disturbing true disappearance cases. These are real stories, where no bodies were found and no clear answers were ever given. They remind us just how easily someone can simply vanish. Our first story takes us to a vast national park in the United States. In 2014, an experienced hiker set out for a solo trip. He was familiar with the terrain, knew the trails like the back of his hand, and he promised his family he'd be home before sunset. But sunset came and went, with no sign of him. The next morning, search and rescue teams fanned out across the park. For 3 days, they scoured the dense wilderness. Then they found something. His backpack sitting perfectly upright on a large, flat rock. It was almost as if it had been placed there deliberately. Inside, everything was intact. His gear, his supplies, nothing was damaged or missing. There were no signs of a struggle, no animal tracks, nothing to suggest what might have happened. The mystery deepened when his phone was discovered several miles away from where the backpack was found, far outside the initial search area. The battery was dead. Investigators managed to recover the data, and what they found was chilling. The final video on the phone shows him walking along a trail. The scenery is calm. The sun is shining. Then, suddenly, he stops. The camera drops slightly, pointing towards the ground. You can hear his breathing become heavy, ragged. Then, a quiet, strained voice whispers the words, "I'm not alone." The recording cuts out. That was the last trace of him. Despite weeks of intensive searching with dogs, helicopters, and dozens of volunteers, not a single footprint, not a drop of blood, not a single shred of clothing was ever found. He had vanished into thin air, leaving behind a single terrifying message. The case remains cold, a chilling story told around campfires in that very park. Our second story unfolds in a modern apartment building, a place that should feel safe, monitored by the unblinking eyes of surveillance cameras. In 2018, a woman who lived alone left her apartment late one evening. Security footage captured her walking down the hallway and entering the elevator. She was holding her phone and keys, and her expression was calm, perfectly normal. She didn't appear to be in any distress. The elevator doors slid shut. That was the last time she was ever seen. Investigators were baffled. They pored over the building's entire surveillance system. There was no footage of her exiting the elevator on any floor. There was no footage of her leaving the building through any exit. No emergency alarms were triggered. The system was checked for technical glitches, missing frames, or any sign of tampering, but none were found. It was a perfect, unbroken record of an impossible event. When police entered her apartment, they found it exactly as you'd expect if someone had just stepped out for a moment. Her phone was there, her wallet, her credit cards, all of her personal belongings. It wasn't the scene of a planned departure. Friends and family were stunned. She had plans for the next day, a brunch she was looking forward to. She had never mentioned feeling threatened or having any reason to run away. She had simply stepped into an elevator and somewhere between floors disappeared from existence. To this day, no one can explain how a person can vanish from inside a secure building filled with cameras, leaving behind everything and everyone they knew. For our final story, we turn to the world we all inhabit, the internet. In 2015, a man was a constant presence online. He was active on forums, posted regularly on social media, and had a wide circle of online friends. He was known for his wit and his daily updates. Then one night, he posted a final cryptic message. It was short, just 6 words. "I think someone is watching me." At first, his followers thought it was a joke, maybe the start of a story or a prank. They replied with memes and lighthearted comments. But the next day, there was silence. And the day after that, he never posted again. His accounts, once buzzing with activity, went completely dormant. Direct messages went unread. Friends grew worried and eventually contacted the authorities. Police performed a wellness check At his address, they found the apartment empty. But just like in our other cases, everything he owned was still there. His clothes were in the closet. His computer was on his desk, powered down. There were no signs of a break-in or any kind of struggle. Investigators checked his finances and travel records. There was no activity, no train tickets, no plane reservations, no ATM withdrawals. He hadn't packed a bag. He hadn't run away. He had simply stopped existing, both online and in the real world. The case was eventually closed due to a complete lack of evidence. He has never been seen or heard from since. Some disappearances don't end with answers. They don't offer closure or resolution. They simply end with silence. And sometimes the most disturbing part isn't the mystery itself.